Welcome, learners and students, to the second lecture of the Usman Dan Fodio and his movement. I am Dr. Imtiazul Huda, Assistant Professor in the Department of Islamic Studies. Dear learners, let's have a glance over the teachings of Usman Dan Fodio, his core Islamic principles, what he believed, what he mean. First of all, he emphasized on the oneness of Allah, that is on the Tawheed, on the concept of Tawheed, that believing that Allah is the only one and He has no partners, no else except Allah is worthy to worship. He further emphasized on the importance of the following of the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad that the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad or the Sunnah is very important, and each and every person has to follow it. He had also advocated for the social justice and equality, and even as I have said earlier, promoting the education and knowledge for all. This was his core principle for his movement and his caliphate. He had encouraged the community services for helping the others. He said that individualism is wrong. We should lead a collective life, a community life. We should think over the welfare of all the peoples. He had a strong focus on moral and ethical behavior, that we should morally rectify our errors. And we should also consider what is healthy for our ethical behavior. Ethics has an importance in the life. So he dealt it with it. He supported for the right of the women and their education. By that time, in the West Africa, almost the education for the women was impossible. So it was Usman Dan Fodio, when he established his caliphate, he had established the schools, the colleges, and emphasized on that the women should also be educated, because the education in women plays an important role in the construction of a society, a good society. Further, he called for the unity among Muslims to strengthen the community and the rejection of corrupt and injustice in society. It was his core principles. Now, understanding Usman Dan Fodio's concept on Tawheed, what he means by the concept, simply, it means the oneness in the Allah Almighty. And we can also say the concept has been drawn from La ilaha illallah, that Allah is one. No one is worthy to worship. No one else is God except Allah. Allah is the only one. He emphasized on the teachings that he believed that understanding Tawheed is essential for the true faith, that we should understand the Tawheed. As we discussed in the Wahhabi movement, the case of Wahhabi movement, there were three aspects of the Tawheed. Like Wahhabi, he also emphasized on these three aspects of the Wahhabi, of the Tawheed. He taught that God is unique and has no partner. is unique. He encouraged the people to worship only Allah. His teachings were aimed to eliminate polytheism, that is the shirk, and the false belief. He tried to promote Tawheed among the Muslims. He considered Tawheed promotes unity also, because when we call for Tawheed, all the Muslims unite because they all believe that Allah is one and we have to worship only Allah. He delivered the sermons to spread the message of Tawheed, what he really means by the Tawheed, how to rectify the errors. He linked Tawheed to the moral and ethical behavior. He linked it up because he considered Tawheed lead us to perfection. Concerning or discussing his view on the importance of education, he emphasized the value of education for personal growth and the community development. He emphasized on the importance that is very beneficial for the personal as well as for the community growth or the growth of the community. He believed, he advocated that knowledge is essential for understanding the faith and as well as the practice of Islam correctly. If we will gain knowledge, then we can differentiate between the correct and the wrong teaching. So, through education, through knowledge, we can understand what are the absolute and the correct ones. We can't be deviated because we know actual thing about it. Through education, he's seen as a way to empower individual and to improve society as a whole. He was an advocate of education. And dear learners, we will find that all the reformers in every community had talked and stressed upon the importance of education. They consider the educated society is a healthy society. He encouraged both men and women to seek knowledge. He didn't say that the knowledge is only for the men. No, women should also be knowledgeable. That's why he promoted the gender equality in education. He established schools and learning centers to make education accessible to all and everybody in the region. Whosoever willing and wishing to acquire the knowledge, want to become a learner. So for them, the schools and other educational institutions were established. His teaching highlighted the importance of moral and ethical education alongside academic learning. Not only the academic, but the moral and the ethical one also. He viewed education as a tool for social justice and reform. He considered it, and definitely it is a tool. He believed that educated leaders could guide their community more effectively because the educated one has a vision. He can also analyze the thing and On the basis of analysis, he can make a very prompt and good decision. His legacy includes the strong emphasis of lifelong learning and continuing self-improvement also. His teaching continue to inspire educational initiative in the part of the even up to this days Africa. There are many institutions in Africa that are teaching the movement of Usman Dan Fodio. That they imparting the education about the reform policies of Usman Dan Fodio. He had a view on social justice also. He emphasized on the fairness and equality in society. He believed that everyone deserved access to basic right. Again, as a part of social justice, he considered education was important to promote the social justice. He also advocated for the right of the poor and the marginalized. He encouraged community support and cooperation. He taught that leaders should be accountable to the people. His teaching promoted the idea of moral responsibility. He stressed the importance of justice in governance also. His idea inspired a movement for social change, what we witness. His legacy continued to influence discussion on justice even nowadays.